안녕하세요, 여러분. 저는 렉스입니다. I said 여러분. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요, 여러분. 저는 렉스입니다. 오늘 저는 어떻게 한국어를 강구하는지 이야기할 것입니다. 한국어를 6개월 강구했어요. 그래서 조금 할 수 있어요. 한국말 너무너무 어려워요. 그리고 대학생이에요. 저는 너무너무 바빴어요. 바보요. 네. So, yeah, I am getting my master's degree right now, and so currently I haven't had a lot of time to study Korean, but it is something that I had dedicated to myself quite a bit too in the past 6 months, and so I thought it'd be really fun to make a video sharing how I've been studying Korean with the little time that I do have and how I did even when I had more time. So I'm going to go through all of the web tools and stuff that I use, and hopefully that can be helpful to your language studies. So the first in order of least helpful to most helpful, I thought this would be basically a good way to show you how I gained familiarity with the language in its various forms, and that kind of helped me get to the point that I'm at right now, which is very I'm still a beginner, obviously. So yeah, so here, let me grab my little sticky notes and the laptop. Should have grabbed this before. Alright, so the first thing I did, technically the first thing I did was I already had the app Duolingo, which many of you might be familiar with, that I basically had been waiting for Korean to become available as a language to use. I had previously used it to help me with my Spanish vocabulary, and I thought it was very useful for that, so I was really excited when I saw that Korean was next in line to be taught via this app. And so the minute it was able to be selected as a class, I chose it, I opened it, and what I saw is that Duolingo is not able to explain the intricacies of Hangul, the Korean writing system, in a way that explains what you're actually looking at. So while we were learning to associate certain shapes and symbols with a sound, we didn't necessarily know what we were looking at. I didn't even know that I was technically looking at 2 letters when it was showing me the, I don't know what it's actually called, but the circle shape, and then when it's a line, and then that, I'm trying to add some edit, whatever. Anyways, so I wasn't actually familiar with what characters I was looking at, and so it wasn't really bringing a level of understanding. Yeah, I was able to memorize the sound and then click, but I was like, what am I looking at? And so upon recognizing that this was almost useless, I actually turned to YouTube, in which I searched for a variety of ways to learn Hangul, the Korean alphabet. And so one YouTube channel in particular that did really well at teaching Hangul was KoreanClass101.com. They have a YouTube channel. They also have a website full of resources as well as videos to teach you various things. And so I watched, I think it was called Hangul in 30 minutes. And after that, I learned at least what each letter sounds like, and then was able to identify what I was looking at. Obviously, it took a lot more studying to become as familiar with the Korean text as I am currently, but that was a nice way to actually gain understanding of what I was looking at. Upon finishing this 30-minute video and having all my notes written down, I was then able to go back to Duolingo and actually use it for gaining more familiarity with the sound of the character to what the written system entailed. And so that was the first kind of 2. The next tool that I guess it isn't the next tool I actually used, because I'm going in order of most helpful or least helpful to most helpful, was the app Memrise. Memrise is actually something that I have picked up most recently, because I've gotten to a point where I believe that I'm functional enough with basic Korean grammar that I'm able to construct sentences in a day-to-day way, and I know enough conjugations and rules and things to have a very basic conversation. The biggest problem that I find myself running into is having a lack of vocabulary. I tried multiple ways of learning vocabulary, one which was making like Quizlets and just studying cards that way, but it's a very tedious process to even accumulate the words to put into flashcards, and then obviously once you make them you need to go back and use them, and I wasn't using it. And so I had a friend who had done the subscription to Memrise, and he told me it was really helpful for vocab that way, and it's got like the fun games and stuff. So I've been using Memrise to study vocab when I have time, because it does it in a like more creative way, and so it gives you something to attach meaning to with the words, rather than just like, oh yeah, 공부하다 to study. No, like you have something to actually connect the experience to learning it, and it's been a bit helpful. I haven't been using it very often because I'm in like the crunch time of my grad degree right now, and so it's been a little hectic, but it has been very useful, and I look forward to using it a bit more in the future. The next two apps I'm going to talk about, I kind of use in tandem. The first is a tool, which is Naver Dictionary app. It is a dictionary app, obviously, that translates from English to Korean, and it is Naver, which is like I guess it's like the Korean Google, and so it's a huge company. It has a variety of like things that they produce, but one has been this app which has basic translations of words. It's the most accurate tool in terms of translation. We're not even going to talk about Google Translate because just don't go there. But yeah, so Naver Dictionary, you can type in simple words like English or Korean and it will translate it for you. And then it also has an open dictionary, which is basically like, say for example, there's a phrase that you see in like a K-drama that you've noticed everybody's using, but like you can't find an exact translation to like the context of the subtitles or what was happening in the show. You can look in the Naver Dictionary and see basically a crowdsourced definition. I guess it's kind of similar to what's it called? Urban Dictionary. And so it's been very helpful in like getting you more familiar with the way that people actually speak, and it's just a very good tool to have. And the place I've been using that the most has been on an app called HelloTalk. HelloTalk is an app that basically you create your profile and say, hi, I am a native English speaker. I am learning Korean, and it will, you say like I'm this great at English, which is all the way, and then I'm like this good at Korean, and then so it will match you up with native Korean speakers who are looking to learn English, and then you guys can conversation exchange. And it's got a variety of tools within the app to help ease conversations along. So it's got a translate tool, it's got transliteration if you're not quite good at reading Hangul yet and you can't really like make out how it's supposed to sound. It's got a correction tool, so say they say my name Jinsu, then you could say no, it should actually be my name is Jinsu or something like that, just to like help each other make corrections to the sentences that you're constructing and just kind of get an idea of what you want to learn. And then it's got this second page, so that's like the conversation aspect, and then there's the like social media sharing page. So basically you can post your sharing or your learning moments. So say for example, I have a textbook that I was using called Survival Korean, that's basically an instructive textbook that kind of helps you learn vocabulary and phrases that will be immediately useful upon arriving to Korea. So for example, it's full of useful phrases such as like 어디에서 화장실이 있어요, which is where's the bathroom, or this is the very good one that I will be using quite often upon my arrival, which is 한국말을 잘 못해요. 못해요. So yeah, just useful things like that. And so I would take a picture of the chapter of what we were learning. So one was where's the bathroom, and so I would post that, and then I would voice record myself reading it so that they could talk about my diction and give me like pointers on how I was pronouncing certain words. It also gave them a chance to like read it. A lot of people are very helpful and will record the audio themselves, so that way you can hear a native speaker saying the same passages, and so it just helps you get more familiar with the language in every aspect. You can focus on your reading, your writing because you're like, you know, typing, but like you're listening, and you can do voice calls and such through the app without ever having to exchange personal information. If you choose to extend a friendship, relationship, whatever, via the app, that's all up to you, but you have everything you need within the app to maintain these conversation partners. I have to say that it's been very helpful in terms of getting me more familiar with just like very basic like introductory conversations, but a big obstacle has been the time difference, because obviously people in Korea are about, I think, 12 or 13 hours ahead, and so you're basically just like flipped on your day, so it's really hard to maintain a conversation very long without one of you staying up way too late. But other than that, it's been awesome. There are a few creepers, but you can't get everything, whatever. But yeah, and then last and finally, the most helpful thing that I have discovered in my Korean learning journey is the website Talk to Me in Korean. Talk to Me in Korean, it also is an app, but basically it is this company, the creator of Talk to Me in Korean, created because he was just so interested in learning languages that he wanted to make a way that people could learn his language. And so he made a series of podcasts as well as like written PDFs that kind of go through these various lessons and teach people how to speak Korean. It goes through grammar, it gives you useful vocab within that, and it just kind of helps you learn it in a fun and creative way with like example sentences. And there's a series of like little mini-sodes and episodes and stuff within the app, website, whatever, as well as a enormous catalog of textbooks that you can buy to supplement your learning. Talk to Me in Korean is completely free for just basic grammar and learning all of that, but what you can get beyond that is all these useful tools. It is an amazing site. If I had more money, because I'm not in college, I would be buying everything, but even with just using the website and its grammar lessons, I've been doing pretty well. I do wish I was a little bit further within the lessons, but again, college has been very time consuming, and so I hope to pick up more once I graduate in May. But yeah, those have been the top tools I've used. Thank you for watching, and 안녕히 가세요.